If you want an A to Z Amazon prep video specifically for Canadians, we're gonna go through having the products physically in front of us, labeling them, going into Amazon Seller Central. And the beautiful thing is it's really specifically for Canadians. There's so many videos out there that are for Americans, and it's not that they're bad, it's just they're not living our reality where our postal services. So I'll see you in there. And if you want more of this type of content, you can go into my school academy. The link is going to be in the comments. There's a bunch of free things out there, including a free course that I made, and that you're going to be able to just click that button and it's all there. So I'll see you in the video. Welcome to the live prep video. I, as a bigger seller, usually have bigger boxes that I fill out, and my prep usually entails multiple big boxes of 24 inches by 24 inches by 18 inches. And I'm always trying to min-max by putting it either filling out those huge boxes or reaching 50 pounds. Now, you as a new seller are probably not gonna have huge orders. So I thought about making a smaller FBA order for you guys and showed a step-by-step. So this should be a smaller box, should be something along the lines of your first few shipments. I'm gonna put it right here. So on the table, as you can see, I have a few video games. We're gonna detail all of this on the Seller Central side. But this kind of shows step one is you need to bring out all the products you're about to prep, okay? And as you can see, I have them all out, like I said, but what you're gonna need is either just straight up taking a piece of paper, writing down what you have in front of you so that when we get to Seller Central, it's pretty straightforward and we can do what we need to do all our prep. So I wanted to just show you live. Now I'm gonna cut to the next scene on Loom where we are on the computer on Seller Central, and I'm gonna show you how I turn essentially these products from being on the table to 100% prepped, labels shipped, poly bags prepped, and ready to go in the box. So let's go to Loom. We're gonna dive into Seller Central, and before I do that, you need to understand what you need. I'm gonna have everything for you in the files so you can go ahead and buy everything beforehand. Some things are gonna be to your choice. I would say that the first thing that you're gonna need is labels for your Amazon products. Shout out to my cat. Now, these labels can come in two different ways. You're probably going to start off with an 8 by 11 adhesive label sheet. So it's going to look like your standard printer paper that you can put into your printer, and it's going to print and you'll be able to peel off the labels. It looks exactly the same way, the same size. It's going to be a little label like this that you can just stick onto the barcodes of specific products. Now, eventually you'll get yourself to a point like me where you can get yourself a 4x6 thermal label printer. I get this from Stallion, but there's a bunch of different brands that you can get even on Marketplace. And this can double for your actual shipment labels, actually my cats are going crazy in the back, to your label printers. But like I said, for now, you're probably going to be using, damn cats, you're probably going to be using your thermal paper from printers, which I won't be able to show you, but it's very, very straightforward. I'll do my best while we're in Seller Central. Other things that you're gonna need, tape, right? You can get a little tape like this off Amazon, Uline, so many different things. In terms of tape itself, okay, to start off, you can maybe just get some at Staples, but then eventually Costco Wholesale, Uline, you can get some pretty good deals when it comes to tape. The next thing I would say is poly bags. I'm going to have for you guys, I'm going to find an Amazon listing that maybe has a variety pack, but your best bet, it's going to be like 9 by 12 if it's going to fit most of your items. And what's very important is it has a warning, a choking hazard warning, because Amazon really needs that. Eventually you can get these in bulk, right? They cost me around 7 cents per bag when I buy them by batches of 1,000. But that being said, you're probably going to want to start off a little bit smaller, so the average cost is going to be a little bit higher to start off with, but that's completely fine. Last but not least, a scale. I'm going to have a link for a pretty good scale for you guys, but you don't necessarily need to use this yet. For your first few shipments, I encourage you to just use a normal scale, like what you weigh yourself with. And what you can do is you weigh yourself and then hold the box and weigh yourself with the box. The difference is going to be the size of the box, okay? And actually, I do have one right here. And a tape measure, right? Because we're going to need to measure the boxes themselves near the end when we do the shipment. So that's all you need in terms of material. You're going to have all of this written down and where you can actually buy these things. Now, next is we're going to have to go into Seller Central And I'm going to use the example with my pipeline sheet that I've given you guys. So let's go ahead and dive right in. If we go into the pipeline sheet, I've kind of prepared it here for you. These are the products that I had on the table before, and you're going to have something along these lines with your product pipeline sheet. Now, you might have other products that is inbound, right? Right now, I'm just using an example. I don't have any other products here, but you'd probably have some products here that are waiting to be delivered to your house. That's fine. You can leave them there. But what you're going to do is you're going to take everything that is delivered and you're going to move them up the sheet to the furthest point possible. You might have some dates filled out in your supplier and order number. I'm hiding these just for my sake, but these are actually products that I'm going to go ahead and get. Now, once you've batched everything together in your product pipeline, it makes everything very, very straightforward when it comes to Amazon itself. So we're going to switch to Amazon side, and we're going to have to go into the lines here and press inventory and manage all inventory. The reason I'm not showing, okay, is just because behind my little bubble here is my store name, and for protection, we always want to hide our store name, and I'm a little too lazy to blur it out every single time post-editing. So in inventory, right here, you're going to have manage all inventory, or you can also go through FBA inventory a little bit lower, but I like going through manage all inventory. We're going to go between our product pipeline sheet and our Amazon sheet. We're going to copy the ASIN, and we're going to note how many we have. So it's ASIN, and we have 10. So I'm going to go back to Amazon. I'm going to paste it. I'm going to search. I'm going to select, right? You can see that I have two different products here. One is on the FBM side and one is going to be on the FBA side. We want to select the one that is FBA. And if you don't have anything here, it's because you haven't listed a product yet. You're just going to have to do add a product, put in the information, and you'll eventually have the product here. And that's actually very important. You want to make sure that all your products are in the Amazon system before you start a shipment, because it's really annoying to get to the furthest point and realize that you have one product that is not fully loaded into your system yet. It just makes everything so long and so annoying. So I pick it, right? This is my first one, but we need to pick multiple. We need to make sure we go through this whole list. So I'm going to go down this list and select every single one. Why I'm going to put my FBM at 0, right, is because if one day you get like me and you do both FBM and FBA, well, I like to always hold things FBM until I decide to ship them, to which I'm going to bring down the available FBM to 0, right? So save. So let's just continuously go down this list. I'm going to fast forward here. I'm just going to let it get to the end, and then I'll meet you there. So actually, I got to the point to my two last ASINs, and I realized that they were still listed FBM and not FBA. So this is a perfect case and perfect scenario where it's a little shitty because I need to wait now because I did the 3 little dots and I did change to fulfilled by Amazon because I'm not going to hold these FBM anymore. And now I need to wait like 15 minutes for this to switch before I can actually do my shipment. So today, being a little lazy, I want to get this video done for you. So I'm just going to remove them. So if you notice before the pause, I had 2 extra lines here. I completely deleted them. So now we're only sending, 9 products. So I have them all selected, and we can confirm at the bottom here, it says 9 SKUs were selected. Make sure that number matches. If it does, cool, we're on to the next step. We're going to select the group action, and we're going to put send or replenish inventory. So we're going to click that. Now we get to the send to the Amazon page, and here we just need to fill each line one by one. And most of the time, you'll see prep and labeling details needed, and then it's going to unblock your unit. So we're going to click this, and in this case, we need to tell them, hey, is this a specific product that needs some type of special attention? The ones that you're going to touch the most is going to be liquid, 9 times out of 10, and that's to put it in a poly bag. Or in this case, if it's small and really, really tiny, well, Amazon wants that to be put into a poly bag also. But now that I pressed poly bag is required, now I can mention how many units I have. And this is where I can just copy. If you have a really long list, you just go back and forth between your listing here. And we can see, oh, I have 10 of these. So I'm going to go back to the listing and I'm going to say, hey, I have 10 ready to pack, right? I'm going to do this for every single one. Now, sometimes you might have to put the expiration date. That's where you can check the product itself. If it does not have an expiration date, just go 2 years out. I understand that Amazon's asking for it. Sometimes they ask for it on products that just straight up don't need it. So that's why I put it 2 years out. So I'm gonna fill all this out and I'll catch you right before. We're gonna pause a little bit from Seller Central and we're gonna go into our real life products. We're gonna have to print all the SKU labels available. Okay, so this is where I said it forks for you guys. Once we press this, you have two different options. You can do standard format, which this is what you're going to end up doing. And I believe the ones I'm going to send you is going to be here, the 30 UP labels, right? I call them 30 up labels. And on a US letter is 8x11. So if we were to do print all, it's going to just give us a PDF where it's ready to print on the 30 up labels. In this case, for me, not the case. I'm going thermal label 50x25, and it's just going to give me them one label at a time. All right, so under me right now is all my products, right? All the raspberries, all the video games, all ready but not prepped. This is where now we're at the step where on Amazon, we have everything together. We have all our labels printed, but we don't have anything polybagged and we don't have anything in a box yet. So that's why I left the Amazon page and I'm back here. I'm gonna show you how do I prep and then how we're gonna finish off on the Amazon side. So first things first is we need to identify, is there anything that needs to go in polybags? And the only thing that I really see that needs to be in polybag, I don't have any liquid products today. If I had a lot of beauty products, those were to be in a polybag. But right now I would say it's anything that is very, very tiny. So a lot of these Raspberry Pis, I'd have these little things that are super, super small. And the actual label itself is actually even bigger than the little box itself. So that's why I'm going to be putting these in a polybag, every single one. So I'm going to do the polybag process first. Luckily, I don't have a lot of things that I need to polybag. And then only once I do the polybags, then I will go into actually labeling every product. And then once every product is polybagged and labeled, well, guess what? Now we're packing into boxes. So let me go ahead and put these in a polybag. This is where it's good when you have multiple sizes of polybags because, again, it would be pretty senseless to put this little tiny product in a huge 8x10 or 9x12 polybag. Like imagine a big polybag like this that we're closing for a little small product like this. No. So I have a 4x10 polybag. It's very, very small. But again, I'm advantageous because I have the ability to order a ton because that my business has grown to a point. For you, it's going to be a little bit less efficient at the beginning. That's totally fine. Very, very normal. Use what you got. But some things do need to go into a polybag. So let me go and polybag everything that I need in front of me, and I'll catch you right very soon. I have all these products polybag. Let me give you a little close-up here. All right. Every product is labeled, right? And not labeled, but put into the bag and cannot escape. So like I had previously said, it's for small products and liquid products that you'll often find yourself polybagging. And then last but not least, 2-pack would be the same thing, right? Imagine this was by itself. Well, there's no problem. I'm going to put my label, my ASIN label, FNSKU label on this label right here, right? The most important thing when it comes to labeling is to make sure that we're covering the original CUP label. But if it was a 2-pack, well, we need to put them both into a bag, right? So it ended up being in a poly bag, and then we're going to label the poly bag. So now at this point in time, I know you can't see it, but I have all my products here. Everything that needed to be polybagged is polybagged. If I had a set of 2, that would be the case. We would have to polybag those also. And now we're at the point where I'm going to batch these up, right? I'm going to go through these and just separate them to have one ASIN pile after another. And then we're going to attack these and just make sure that every single product, right? This is a video game, that the label itself, right, in the top corner right here, is covered by the ASIN label. So I'm going to go ahead and do this to all my products. I'm going to show you an example of how it's done on both the polybag and on a normal product. And then we'll move on to our last step, which is putting it into a box, measuring the box, weighing the box, putting the data into Amazon, getting our shipment label from Amazon, applying that on the box, and then we're good to go. So let me apply all these labels and I'll catch you on the next. So everything is prepped in this box here. I just reused a normal Amazon box that you can get, that you either get your deliveries from. If not, obviously I have other boxes. Like I said, they're 24 inches by 24 inches by 18 inches. Way overkill for this box. This box is perfectly fine. We have all the products that I showed before, right? The ones that are in poly bags just have the label on it. That's it, that's all. Video games have their label covered. and other products like this too, right? Where this had a label on top with the price and a label at the bottom. I just covered the label at the bottom, and on the one I covered the price with the Amazon label. So now that this is all done, right, I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna close it with the tape. I know I have some games there, I didn't end up shipping them. I'm gonna close it with the tape. I'm going to take you to the scale. I'm gonna show you exactly how you can use your scale at home, and then we're gonna input all the data into Amazon. It's gonna print us the UPS sheet, and then we're almost done with our shipment. It's pretty straightforward. All right, so you might have multiple boxes. So what you're gonna do is you have to note what's in the box, okay? If you wanna use this technique and do all the boxes before going on the Amazon side, right now I only have one box. But what you're gonna do is once it's noted, either in the pipeline sheet, we have that well organized, what's in the box. This is now officially box one, right? We're just gonna do our measurements. On the Canadian side, they like to look at centimeters. Sucks, I like to look at inches, but it is what it is. So this is gonna be 45 centimeters. I write it down on the box, right? 45 centimeters by 37 centimeters by 22 centimeters, right? So that's gonna be our dimensions in terms of centimeters. And I'll do this live with you. What you don't wanna do is put the box directly on the scale. Like I said, you wanna weigh yourself, then weigh yourself with the box. The difference is gonna be the size of the shipment. So let's go do that right now. Solid 220. 234 pounds with the box in hand. So we know the box is gonna be 14 pounds. Now we have all that data. Let's go in Seller Central, finish this up, go ahead and ship your first shipment. We're back on Seller Central. I feel like I did a whole vlog 2 seconds ago going up, down, different camera angles. But now we have everything ready. We have everything in our box. We know the dimension and the weight of our box or boxes. We're ready to move on. We're just gonna do pack individual units. At this point, it's pretty straightforward considering we only have one box. If we would have multiple boxes, we're gonna just select multiple boxes will be needed, to which it's gonna ask you how many. Doesn't matter, you can change this. I'll put 2 just to show you an example for now, to which we're gonna have to open up a web form. So it divides it, right? We wanna add another box, we would just press this and we could do add or remove a box. And this is where we would just separate, hey, what's in box 1, what's in box 2, and at the bottom is where we would put the kilograms and centimeters of each specific box. In this case, we only have one. We can remove the last box and we can put essentially everything in this, right? Because we don't need to separate any of the units. Sometimes you'll have the same units in multiple different boxes, and that's why it allows you here to be able to split it up. Actually, note I said before it was 14 pounds. Canadian is in kilograms, right? So sometimes, just a little quick, 14 pounds, 2 kilograms gives me 6.35. Note, there's no points, so I round it, right? If it hits the 0.5, round it up. And in terms of centimeters, we had that written down on the box before. I have noted it here on a picture. So it's 45 centimeters by 37 centimeters by 22 centimeters. Now we're good to go, right? We select, this is the box that I wanted. Again, if we had more boxes, we would be doing this for each single box. But now we can just do confirm packing shipment and we're pretty much done. We're just gonna do confirm and continue, to which now it's going to validate and make sure that all the contents are good. Usually 9 times out of 10, we don't have problems here. And now this is when we're gonna say the approximate ship date. I'm just gonna go ahead and say I'm gonna ship it out tomorrow because that will be the case. Then you wanna select SPD. We're not doing less than a full truckload. So you can see here, $14.51 for what was a 6 kilogram box. So if we do the math on that, I don't think you'll be able to actually see my calculator on screen, to which you can see that this is going to cost us a little bit inefficient because it's 6 kilograms and it's costing us $14.51. It's going to be a little bit above $2 per kilo. But as your shipments gets bigger, the more and more efficient this is going to be. So this is a great segue to talk about Seller Amp and the settings that you put inside. You can see that if my shipments are smaller, it does come out to a little bit more expensive per kilogram. So at this point, I'm going to do accept charges and confirm shipping. This is where it's going to automatically generate us a UPS label, and you're going to be able to print it. Same thing, same situation as before. Either you have a 4x6 label printer or you do it via your 8x11 standard printer. The difference is this is just gonna peel and stick onto your box, whereas the other one you're gonna have to tape onto your box, right? So this is the case here. You'll do 8.5 by 5.5 US letter, print that, tape it on your box, and you're good to go. Or like me, you select thermal printer, you press print, and you're gonna get your good data. So that's pretty much the beginning to the end of a shipment. Gets a tad more complex when you start adding multiple boxes, but in general, that's the shipment workflow that I run with, and it's pretty straightforward and not that complicated.